and welcome to our third Veggie RX video. Today we are going to be learning about the many health benefits of beans and legumes, how to incorporate them into your favorite dishes at home, the storage of many vegetables so that we can avoid them going bad before we're able to use them. So one of the main benefits of beans and legumes is that they are very high in fiber. And being high in fiber, or eating foods that are high in fiber, has shown to help reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, intestinal diseases, as well as breast cancer.
And the thing about fiber is that our bodies can't digest it. And what it does is it helps bulk up our stools to really help with preventing constipation. And it just overall supports a healthy digestive tract. It helps lower the bad cholesterol in our blood levels. And because fiber slowly moves throughout the body, it can even help with managing our blood sugar levels and prevent them from spiking.
The recommendations for fiber to eat each day for adults and children is between 20 to 30 grams per day. And just to put that into perspective, about a half cup of cooked beans or lentils provides about 7.5 grams of fiber, which is about 1/3 of your recommended needs. Or 1 cup of cooked green beans gives about 3.5 grams of fiber.
And in addition to our beans and legumes group being high in fiber, they're also extremely high in protein. So they make a great substitute for meat in some of our favorite recipes. So a couple ideas: you could make a bean or lentil taco, or even meatloaf. You could try stuffing peppers with some rice and beans and seasoning it to your liking. You could even make a bean burger. And lentils have a really great texture that almost mimics the ground beef consistency. So the lentils would work really good in a meat sauce in your spaghetti, as well as substituting the ground beef in a chili recipe for the lentils. So when purchasing beans at the grocery store, of course, you can buy the canned beans, which are cooked and ready to go. So you'll want to look for a no salt added or low sodium variety, just to cut down on some of that salt. And since these are ready to go, you could throw it on top of a salad or just eat it as a side with your meal. You can also look for dried beans at the grocery store. And what's great about dry beans is that they're extremely affordable and they last up to 2 years in your pantry when stored properly. So the dried beans will require a little extra preparation. You will want to make sure to soak them overnight before cooking them the next day. Or you could even try soaking them in hot water to help speed up the process a little bit before cooking them.
Yeah. Not every vegetable has such a long shelf life like beans and legumes. Storing your vegetables properly helps maintain their freshness and their nutrient content and avoids them going bad before we can use them. So some vegetables can have to be stored in the fridge, some have to be stored in room temperature on the countertop, and some are recommended to be stored in a cool, dry, dark place. It is also important to remember to store your vegetables away from fruit because fruit actually emits a gas called ethylene that encourages the produce to ripen faster. And to do this easily is to take advantage of your refrigerator's crisper drawers because they have a little dial on them where you can indicate what type of produce is in there, if it's a fruit or a vegetable, and just switch the dial towards it, and it'll help maintain the correct temperature as well as humidity for that produce so that it can prolong its life and stay fresher longer. Now, going over different types of produce that we have here, our herbs should, besides basil, should be stored in the fridge.
And then a tip you can try is storing your fresh herbs in a jar. We're using a mason jar today. We have about 1 inch or 2 of water. And then you can use a plastic like sandwich Ziploc bag to close off here the herbs. You can use a rubber band to secure it, and this will help the leaves from absorbing too much moisture and keep them fresher for longer. Just be mindful, you will want to switch out the water like every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, with our dark leafy vegetables, we always want to store them in a plastic bag with a damp paper towel in them. That'll just help retain the moisture in the leaves.
And you can wash your greens before you put them in the plastic bag with a paper towel. That will encourage us to just eat them sooner, and they'll be ready to go.
And for our red and orange vegetables, like our tomatoes that we have here, the tomatoes, you want to store them on the countertop at room temperature, because putting them in the fridge can affect their texture and their flavor.
And with the tomatoes, when we are letting them ripen at room temperature, we want to keep them out of direct sunlight just to allow them to ripen evenly. Once they are completely ripe, you could always throw it in your fridge from there just to make them last a little bit longer.
Yeah, with our peppers we want to keep in the crisper drawer. Like I said, that just holds the correct temperature and humidity for them. For our starchy foods, we have our potatoes here, and the potatoes you want to store in like a cool, dark place.
And then potatoes contain ethylene, that natural gas. So if you want to prevent your other produce from ripening, you want to make sure to store the potatoes by themselves. If you want some of your produce to ripen quicker, you could always store it with the potatoes to help speed up that ripening process.
Yeah, and with our corn, if we were to purchase fresh corn just like this, we want to keep them in the husk in the fridge until you're ready to use them. Yeah, so with our fresh green beans that we have here, we want to store these in a plastic bag just to help retain that moisture as well.
And if you're ever in doubt about how to store your vegetables, a safe rule of thumb is just to store it directly in your crisper drawer, because the crisper drawer is designed to keep our vegetables and fruit at the proper temperature.
Yeah, and with our other subgroup, there are so many different types of vegetables on there, so we do recommend that you refer to the handout that we have given you this week just for some guidance on how to store that certain vegetable. Or if you have a specific question on a certain vegetable, you can go ahead and ask it in the comments, and we'll go ahead and reply to you and let you know how to store it properly.
And to enjoy the flavors these vegetables offer us all year long, you can always freeze your vegetables. So stay tuned. We'll be releasing a video on how to properly blanch and then freeze your vegetables. So again, you can enjoy them all year long. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.